From the Trailer Park Studios in sparkling Midland, Michigan, it's Dennis versus the world, where Dennis is always right, even when he's wrong. Pineapple on pizza? Get out of here! Ketchup on hot dogs? You're a monster. Whether it's sports betting or pop culture talk, Dennis has an opinion on it. So sit back, grab a beverage, because it's time for Dennis versus the world.
So it's been probably maybe a year and a half since you've been on the show the last time?
It was, according to our last Skype call, it was August of last year. So a little bit over.
So just a little over a year. Okay.
Hell's bells.
Oh my God. And that was a good time. That was a good show. I think that was the last podcast that I did.
So you ended on a low note?
Yeah, no, as a high note, I was like, man, it's not going to get any better than that. I might as well retire. I think I got like 12 or 13 listens, and I was like, you know what? This is what Joe Rogan must feel like.
I'm glad to be back.
So introduce yourself, just in case, maybe the 30 followers that I haven't heard of you, but I'm sure they have. If they're following me, they probably follow you.
It's basic. My name is Eric. I am from the YouTube channel Hey Internet Eric here. I just your regular schlub talking movies on that YouTube channel. You may have heard me or seen me talk with my buddy Frenzy on the Two Bearded Losers podcast. And if you follow me on Twitter, you have probably seen many weird conversations between Dennis and myself.
Yes.
Usually about food or wrestling.
Mostly food.
Yeah.
Not so much wrestling, really, but mostly food. Sometimes movies. I always go to you with my movie questions because you are the movie expert. You and the real Gino, you're my movie guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And last night you had your first show back on the Two Bearded Losers, which was a really fun time, I believe. I was heavily intoxicated.
I did notice that because the way we do it, we don't have the chat, at least on my laptop. I was going back and forth between that and my phone. And it seems like you were hitting it off with one of our fans, and then eventually you were just typing nothing but the word drink over and over again.
Well, the reason I was typing drink is because I started doing it when you guys would say fun factor.
Okay.
So every time you said fun factor, I would take a drink. And towards the end, it became chaotic.
I'll definitely have to, because I rewatched it, but when I rewatched it was a little too early. They didn't have the live chat back in, so I'm definitely going to have to rewatch the live chat now from beginning to end.
Or maybe I just started writing drink for no reason. That's all entirely possible as well. I do know that I woke up this morning at 4:00 in the morning with the lights in the house still on, and I was passed out on the couch.
That's how it is on the night out of the town with the Two Bearded Losers.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a good time.
Appreciate it. Yeah. It was fun. Talking Jason Takes Manhattan, it was kind of like me and you here. It was our first episode back together in a little over a year.
So it seems like the fall of 2022 is when everyone returns to, the kids are returning to school, so the adults are returning to podcasts, I guess. And adults, I use the term loosely.
Exactly. Man-child.
Man-child is probably a better term. But so earlier this week, my friend, I don't know if you're following Javier or not, but he posted a trailer to the new movie that's coming out that reimagines Winnie the Pooh as a bloodthirsty psychopath, basically. Him and Piglet. And are the other puppets involved as well?
Well, from what I did watch the trailer twice. I mean, I have known about this when it was first announced. Because Winnie the Pooh has now become public domain, so you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
So we could do something with it.
Yeah, we could do whatever we want. We'll keep that in the back of our mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket.
And I was kind of interested, and then when I saw what Winnie the Pooh looked like, I kind of lost interest, but then gained interest, if that makes sense.
Sure. It doesn't really look like Winnie the Pooh. It looks like a man wearing a Winnie the Pooh mask, really.
Yeah, they're really stretching that 50-cent budget. But from what from what I was able to get from the trailer, Christopher Robin is going back to the 100-acre wood. If it's 100-acre or 1,000-acre, I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Either way, he goes back to Pooville. You know what I mean? And he is there with I don't know if it's a girlfriend or just some friends, and he does walk by a gravestone that says Eeyore.
Okay, so
I don't know how much the other characters are involved, or if they're already butchered by Pooh and Piglet.
Sure, they took them out first.
Mm-hmm.
The week got taken out first.
Mm-hmm.
Now the concept, the plot, from what I gathered from watching the trailer, I guess you don't really get it from the trailer, but the Wikipedia says that they were deserted, so they were left hungry, alone, and this is why they have become psychotic, bloodthirsty. Blood and honey is the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, blood and honey. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good pairing, blood and honey.
No, that sounds like a really disgusting underground porno, if you ask me.
Blood and honey. Yeah. A Mariah Carey imitation model. Although I guess she could be right now. She probably could do it. I don't think there's too many roles rolling in for her right now. No. But so Javier posted the trailer that reminded me, because I had seen the trailer earlier, not the trailer, but the concept. I'd heard of the concept earlier this year as well. But he posted the official trailer, and I guess it's coming out soon. I don't think I'll personally watch it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one night I'll be drunk and it'll come on Cinemax or something, and I'll be too lazy to pick the remote up from the table. But
I'll probably eventually watch it, because there's always that movie you're like, I'm not gonna watch it, and then 6 months later you're watching it, type thing. You might not finish it, but you watch it. So I'm sure I'll get into it for at least half hour or something like that.
Sure. You're not gonna go out of your way to watch it though. If you stumble across it.
If I stumble across it on like Tubi or Peacock that I have access to, my friend's account, so if I don't have to pay for it, I'm sure I'll watch it.
It's definitely a movie that will end up on Tubi.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will.
Tubi or what's that one free service?
Pluto.
Mm-hmm. Pluto Horror or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But so Javier posted the trailer, and it spun off into me and Eric talking about. I don't know if it was books first or if we went straight to TV shows.
I said, because I think either you or he asked like my opinion on it, and I said I like the concept of old TV shows being turned into horror movies.
Okay.
Because they did do it with the Banana Splits, they did it with Fantasy Island, and now this.
Yeah.
And then that's what got the snowball rolling.
Okay. Yeah. So I was sitting here thinking, I forgot that you'd said Fantasy Island in the thread. Because I was trying to think of other concepts that this has been, or other TV shows and books that this has been turned into. In Fantasy Island is definitely one, but I couldn't think of any other. Now I know that there's a dark version, but it's supposed to be an autobiography of the guy that created Elf. That's kind of
really
that realm. Yeah. Let me see. I can't remember the Elf.
I had no idea there was like some type of weird backstory about him.
Elf documentary. I should have wrote this down because I was thinking about it. Shit. We can edit a little bit of this out. So, movie about Elf creator. Permanent Midnight.
Permanent Midnight.
Yeah, is the title of the autobiography of Jerry Stahl, a writer for Elf.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe Ben Stiller was in it. Jerry Stahl, based on Jerry Stahl. Yeah, Ben Stiller, Elizabeth Hurley, Maria Bello, Owen Wilson, Cheryl Ladd, Janine Garofalo were all in it. They don't say elf in the movie. And if I remember right, and it's been a while since I've watched it, it's a green the green alien, but hairy. And
Of course.
basically, Jerry Stahl's just like fucked up on cocaine and
Of course.
crazy. So, if you haven't seen it, it's an interesting movie.
It's on Tubi. I just added it to my queue right now.
All right. Well, if you watch it, let me know what you think of it.
Oh, absolutely. I know, because I know
yeah.
that the story of what happened to the actor who played Willie is kind of a horror story in itself. If you know all about him.
Yeah. Did he turn out to be like a pedo?
Well, what happened was he hated the show. He hated doing the show. Like once that the last cut happened on the final episode, he literally got his already packed up bags and left the set. He didn't tell anybody goodbye.
Is that why the show kind of ended in a weird way? Like it seemed like it was left like for something more to happen.
They definitely, I think they were planning on doing another season, but it just got canceled. I think it was going like head to head with Roseanne at the time.
Oh, okay.
At that time, no one could compete with Roseanne. But eventually what happened, like he still did bit parts. I think he was on News Radio, that show with Phil Hartman and Andy Dick, and he was in like the TV adaptation of The Stand, the first one from from '94.
I don't remember him in that one.
He's in the very beginning. He's one of the scientists that is studying Gary Sinise. Okay. But eventually he just became a crack addict who it's up there. He became a crack addict. The pictures are very sad, and he was living in like a homeless shelter. And for money, he was doing,
stuff.
Yeah, stuff. And he made some homemade movies to sell. We'll leave it at that because I don't want to be misquoted. But it was pretty eye-opening for one of these character actors from my childhood. You know what I mean?
Right. It'd be like Mr. Drummond, ended up pimping himself out for him and Dana Plato.
Or Mr. Drummond was the bike shop owner, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a dark episode too. That and unfortunately one of the the more remembered episodes of Different Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of the shows I was thinking about that could be turned into a horror movie really easily.
Oh yeah.
And this is the story I had behind it. It's funny that you say it. Pick it up because in my this is gonna. I mean, this is dark, but
okay.
I kind of envisioned Mr. Drummond's money, his old money. It was passed down from generation to generation, and at some point, Mr. Drummond's, family had owned Willis and Arnold's.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I don't remember how they became.
That makes sense because they were adopted because their mother was the original housekeeper.
Okay, the mom was the original housekeeper.
Yes, Arnold and Willis's their mom was Drummond's original housekeeper.
Now, did she die in storyline? Okay, but did she? That's the thing. Did she die, or did she fake her death so Mr. Drummond would adopt these kids, and then they would take out the oppression?
Oh my God. That is not a conversation I was expecting tonight.
No, I told you it might get dark. I told you earlier that this possibly
literally
get dark.
Wow.
But it's plausible.
It is,
Gripping. People love this.
He does. Like if you set him up, like he can easily wear that, that old timey like Texas white suit and hat and everything, like the prospector hat.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so yeah, that would be the concept of what would we call it? I guess we could call it different. I guess Different Strokes works as a horror title.
Yeah.
You stroke a knife, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. See, that's the problem is they always say like the titles, like I always remember, like I used to watch The Simpsons like with commentary, and they say the hardest jokes for them to do was coming up with like the titles for like the Itchy and Scratchy episodes.
Okay.
And like a lot of writers say, you write the title as the very last thing. You get the concept, you write the story, and then you give it a title.
And you kind of just steal the title from the concept of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Strokes, I guess you could go.
Oh God, that sounds like another one of those movies. Oh.
But where would the sister come involved? I guess she's just an innocent bystander paying for the
she doesn't know
sins
anything.
of the family.
She doesn't know anything. It's kind of like you know your spouse is this, got this second life. Like you've heard all those men that have like a wife in Florida and then like a wife in California type of thing.
Oh yeah.
So she thinks daddy's just this rich businessman.
A nice old businessman.
That's right. Daddy couldn't hurt a fly. You know what I mean?
He earned his money the right way. He's not like his.
I mean, look at it. John Wayne Gacy. No one knew he had barbecues with the neighborhood. He went, as Pogo the Clown with the children's hospital, and they didn't realize what was in the basement. So, very plausible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other concept that I had, it's kind of like what's that? The Hunger Games. Only what happens back in the 80s? If you're younger, you won't know this, but in the 80s, they had the Olympic type games for Network of the Stars.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it.
You've never so you were never watched it or anything like that? So,
not to my knowledge.
So in this scenario, the Network of the Stars games, they would take one person from the bottom 10 TV shows. Now this is the movie concept I have. This isn't what they do.
Okay.
But they take 10 random people from the bottom of the Nielsen ratings list and put them in these Network for the Stars games as a battle to your death. So 9 TV actors and actresses will die during this tournament. The lucky one lives. I don't know. I guess they go back to their shitty show. I don't know. I didn't really figure that part of the concept out. But 9. So for instance, the last season of Dukes of Hazzard or MASH or something. Well, I guess MASH never went that far.
Right.
But some TV show, Bosom Buddies.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks gets sent to the Network Stars and he has to fight. He has to fight to the death.
With Bo Duke or something like that.
Yeah, Bo Duke. So I mean that would be riveting television.
I think that's funny that you picked Tom Hanks, the successful guy, because we can't think of who the fuck the other guy was on Bosom Buddies, can we?
But think about that though. The scenario his sin is being on a shitty TV show that he ends up dead, and we never get movies like Forrest Gump or Bachelor Party. Yeah, we never get any of those movies because he was on a shitty show.
I love it. And then for sweeps, you can get something like the Brady Bunch versus the Partridge Family or something like that. You know what I mean?
A Survivor Series of like real Survivor Series.
Exactly. Survivor Series sweeps month.
Someone holding out on a contract, like the Duke boys, bring them against Vance and Coy.
Exactly, or whoever replaced Eve Plum in the Brady Bunch, TV movies and stuff like that.
Becky and Becky,
exactly.
For Roseanne. That's how they deal with it. Yeah. You don't want to sign your contract. Well,
in the pit.
Battle of the Network Stars.
Oh man, my money would be on second Becky because I hated original Becky so
Original
much.
Becky was a cunt.
Yes, I hated her. I mean, I get that she was supposed to be like this spoiled brat, but she was just awful and so unlikable. And the fact that Sarah Chalke was like so much more pretty also kind of helped me.
Sarah Chalke is a fucking babe.
Kind of helped me like new Becky more, but it's just like she was just likable even when she was whining and complaining. She had a more likable presence.
So when the new Roseanne came on, how did they explain? Because I know Sarah Chalke was on it. Was she a different character?
I only remember her showing up once, and it was like Halloween, and she was taking her kids trick or treating, and I think the original Becky like answered the door or something like that.
Okay.
I know they did make a reference to her when the original Becky came back, and they were watching a show where someone was replaced, and she had this smug look on her face, and she said something like, "Yeah, the original is usually always better." And we know that's not the fucking truth. Shut up.
No. She was terrible. Even I remember watching it on the original run and hating her.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I've ever liked. Do you know what her name is by chance? Her real name?
Lacey something, isn't it? I have no fucking
Lacey
clue.
something. Yeah, Lacey something. The only
There's
thing I liked her
looking up.
No, I'm not gonna look that up. The only thing I liked her in was Boys Don't Cry. I think that's what it was called with Hilary Swank.
Swank.
Yeah, she was good in that, and that's about it. I think that's pretty much the only thing I've ever enjoyed her presence on. I'm going through the notes that we were talking during that conversation.
Sure.
Let's see here. You mentioned the Banana Splits, Fantasy Island. Facts of Life needs to be turned into a horror movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's see, what would we do with that though?
Well, I see. Honestly, I thought of it as Mrs. Garrison, because she. This is a spin-off of Different Strokes. Because remember, she was the housekeeper. So
that's true.
Maybe Tootie is part of that bloodline.
You're just a big race war.
Exactly. And Tootie finds out about it.
Okay.
And
Tootie says, "I want in. These motherfuckers got to pay."
Wants the money. It's the 80s. It's Wall Street. It's all this stuff. And then, because you always got to have those crossovers, Arnold and Willis find out about it, and they give Mrs. Garrison and Tootie a visit. And what was her name? Natalie. She's definitely like the muscle of the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's taking her down.
No.
Joe, since she was the tomboy and she rode a motorcycle, she drives the getaway car if they need
Joe. Joe aligns herself with Tootie because Joe is clearly, And
then Blair, she was the hot one, so she's like the pretty chick that pretends to be a hooker, so she goes out, she scopes out victims and stuff like that and brings them home.
She's a scout.
Exactly.
Okay. That, or she could be related to the Drummond somehow, because she does come from money. So that could be another seedling there. That they want Blair dead.
Yeah, Tootie wants Blair dead because let's just say you find out she was adopted and her last name when she was born was Drummond. Oh,
Blair Drummond.
Exactly.
She comes from the same bloodline.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So so they came and seen Mrs. Garrett. That's why Willis and Arnold are there.
Right.
Because Kimberly was never going to go to that school.
No.
So they're just visiting Mrs. Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
And they stumble upon Blair with Mr. Drummond. Mr. Drummond's like, "Oh, Blair, you go to this school?" And the two boys are like, "Who's she?" And she goes, "That's your cousin." and then Willis sees Tootie and he's like, "God damn!" And they talk, and he tells them their plan. He tells her their plan of murdering Mr. Drummond, taking his money. And she's like, "I want in."
Yeah.
And they say, "Well, if you want in, we need you to do something like a gang initiation.
Oh, Jesus.
You need to kill Blair." And she's like, "Oh, that's easy. I hate that bitch anyways.
I've been planning that for months.
I was going to kill her anyways." So that's how
and then you just hear it off the background. You hear Joe say, "Can I be in too?"
I'm in.
Where'd you come from? I was watching the whole time.
Well, I guess we got to let her in now.
Yep.
And then they have, okay. So that's how okay. There you go. There's the concept for Facts of Life. These are almost too easy.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. We had the Love Boat.
Yeah. That's an easy one. That's just like that's Jason Takes Manhattan. We already said that one.
That's you could tie the Love Boat in with Fantasy Island. The Love Boat is the one that feeds the Fantasy Island people.
Yep.
So that's an easy concept as well. Let's see here. Sanford and Son.
Okay, what did we say about
Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe written all over? Is what you said. Which, yes, I could see that.
Because if you think about it, they live in this dilapidated house,
a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre house for sure.
And Red Fox, he is basically the cook from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's the one giving out all the orders. Lamont, he's obviously he's kind of like the hitchhiker. He's a little bit more smart and not as off-hinged. And basically it's an easy place to hide the bodies. The easy place to get
Nobody wants to be in that house long enough to find anything anyways.
Exactly. It's easy to get, customers in because, anyone's going to buy junk, it's no one's going to suspect the junk man, that type of thing. And
junk men know people.
Yes.
And they know people that can get rid of stuff really quick.
Yeah, they're their own. They are their own type of cleaners. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you think about Red Fox, he is just he's never happy. He's this crotchety old man, and he's already got like a hit list.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got a hit list, and he's going crazy because he keeps calling out for God and his dead wife.
Exactly, he's doing it for his dead wife.
Oh, okay, so he's hearing voices.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that if he kills a certain amount of people, he will be reunited with his wife.
And Esther, she would be the perfect Leatherface.
Oh God, yeah.
Grady, he's kind of a simpleton. Maybe we can make him Chop Top. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yep. So, I can see that.
So it works out perfectly.
Yep, that definitely fits. And then you said Little House on the Prairie. 2000 Maniacs Deliverance type of feel to it. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie is a weird one for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, there's just there's nothing to do except for plow the fields and do-si-do. That would drive a man crazy.
Exactly. You get very, very bored very, very fast. One of the days, you plow one too many fields and boom, you're gone.
Running over people.
And little Laura, the first one she's gonna take out is that little bitch with the blonde pigtails.
Nellie.
Yeah.
Nellie needs the. Yeah. Well, I don't know though. Is Nellie the one though? Is she the one that fucking just murders everybody because she's just a spoiled little brat?
Well, see, I kind of like, because now that I'm thinking about it, if you make it Laura, it's also kind of like that movie The Bad Seed, where you don't suspect it's the pretty girl. It's the one that's always going to church, behaving herself.
True.
So when no one's looking, she murders the janitor and stuff like that.
Yep, I could see her cleaning herself off all crazy and just like nobody can know.
How did her sister really go blind? She mouthed off one time after dinner, because
she got some shit thrown in her face.
Exactly, because they slept in the same bed. You share a bed with your sibling for the longest time. You're gonna have arguments.
Oh yeah.
So she gouged out her eyes or something like that, and half pint wouldn't have done that. And it's perfect. She's a sweet little daddy's girl, and daddy's too busy taking care of the farm and running the shop.
Daddy sold her to Almanzo when she was like 14 years old, breaking little Laura's heart.
It makes perfect. And there was an episode where Todd Bridges, I think, was a guest star.
Oh God, no.
And that's when Mr. Drummond shows up.
That's the origin story. That's the origin story. Motherfucker. This is deeper than I thought it was.
I missed this.
Oh, this is going to get us canceled. But seriously though, if you look at the TV series Little House on the Prairie, it has some fucked up moments. Like Almanzo gets addicted to shit. What was that he got addicted to?
I have no idea.
It's the shit they give you when you're in the hospital. It kind of gives you the itches.
It's been so long, and I don't know if I ever watched it when she got older.
Okay.
Like I know she ended up getting married and stuff like that, but
yeah, but he went through this. He became addicted to it, and then Pa Ingalls had to come and help him, and Pa Ingalls' hair had turned completely white
because of some of the shit he's seen.
He saw some shit.
That's right.
He was Mr. Drummond's family's hitman. He couldn't sleep at night, and he had to go to church like every day just
that's why he was washing his sins. He was always in confession. Why does he have those scars on his back? Because he's whipping out the sins. All this stuff that we don't see behind closed doors.
The first scene
doesn't do anything wrong.
The first scene in Little House on the Prairie is he's taking his family away from Ma Ingalls' family. Do you remember that? It's literally the first scene, and none of them want to leave, but he's been given the opportunity of a lifetime that will make his family and his family's family, not rich, but comfortable for the rest of their lives. And all he has to do is, be a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Slave farmer.
It's a trial run with Mr. Drummond. That's what it is, or the Drummond family. However, because this obviously that takes place way before the 80s, but still, all the ancestors of the Drummonds have been in charge of the Ingalls family for generations.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We've blown it way out of the water now.
Yeah. I totally forgot Todd Bridges was on that show. It makes perfect sense now, though. That's how it happened. He was the ancestor of Arnold and Willis.
Is there any way that we can tie Todd Bridges to LeVar Burton by any chance?
I'm sure we can.
Was he ever on Reading Rainbow?
Oh Jesus. Let's see. I'm looking right now. Was Todd Bridges ever in Roots?
I guess was he just in Roots? Because that's how I was trying to connect it. I was trying to connect it to Roots.
Yep, Todd Bridges was on Roots.
Of course he was. Yep. Of course he was. You Drummonds, you sons of bitches.
That's how they do it. Yeah. Oh shit.
All these years of racism and turmoil can be pointed at because of the Drummonds.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be some weird fucking shit if we signed up for Ancestry.com and did a Drummond search?
I just thought of it. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just don't want to say this before I forget it. If you remember, the slave owner was Mr. Brady on Roots.
Mr. Brady
from the Brady Bunch. But yeah, I just looked. Mr. Brady was on Roots. He was the owner of Kunta Kinte, who was played by LeVar Burton, and eventually Todd Bridges shows up as a character named, it doesn't say his background, it just says he was a character that was named Bud Harvey. So there's your little 6 degrees of Philip Drummond, you know what I mean?
We won't say Kevin Bacon because Kevin Bacon does not want to be involved in this.
Right.
All right. Well, it all connects. That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy how that works.
Wow. It's kind of scary when you do some digging and you got that childish mind like we do.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the feedback of this is going to be from the general public. What we're doing right now, I think, for any entertainment purposes, is amazing. For social standards, I don't know if we should have exposed any of this.
I'll just say this for the half of the people that think we're awful, there's going to be that other half that are finding this fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I would hope so. So did you have any ideas that you wanted to throw at me that we didn't put on Twitter the other night?
I'm trying to think. I know I've always thought it would be kind of cool to have. I've always wanted like I Love Lucy.
Okay.
As like a slasher movie, because Ricky is finally tired of putting up with her bullshit.
Sure.
Or let's go the other route, because Ethel, let's see, Ethel and her, because Ethel and Lucy, they kill Fred because Fred's just a piece of shit, and then they go on the run. I'm thinking like
Thelma and Louise,
or I was thinking Natural Born Killer style, and they become celebrities. And then Lucy is finally famous. She now is part of the show that she's always wanted to be.
Okay. So I don't know a lot about I Love Lucy. I never watched it, so I'm coming into this one blind. Yeah. So she always wanted to be on a TV show. She was always wanting to be a superstar.
Ricky, he was like the leader of like a club act at the I don't know what it was called, but the nightclub. And of course, she's talentless. She can't sing. She can't act. She's always wanted to be part of Ricky's act. And Ricky's basically saying, "No, you suck. Get out of here." So that's why she gets in her little mishaps and stuff like that. Ethel is basically, her sidekick, and Ethel is married to Fred, who is like this. Take Walter Matthau in his most curmudgeonness of, curmudgeons, like in like Grumpy Old Men.
Okay.
And then times it by 20.
Okay.
And he's always talking trash to her. It's like
so they kill their husbands, go on the run, and become stars in place of their husbands, or they become stars just based on
the notoriety,
the thirst of.
Like they become internet celebrities, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
People are like, wow, what they're doing is great, and then you have the other people that, no, what they're doing is wrong. Like I said, like Natural Born Killers, the media sensationalizes them.
I see. Yeah, I like that, and that is like plausible completely.
Exactly. And what they do is they're taking down what they think are abusive men and stuff like that, because Fred was awful.
They'd be heroes in the society.
Exactly. Kind of like Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I do like that. There was another old. Your idea struck me because there's another. The Honeymooners. I mean, that's the same thing. Like I can't remember the characters' names, but
Ralph and Norton were the men.
Norton.
And Alice was the wife, and I don't remember who Norton's wife was.
It was Jackie Gleason, right? And he was always talking about beating his wife.
Yep.
And one day she just had it. So you could actually use that concept with that show as well.
And Norton was a sanitation worker. He worked in the sewers. That's where you get rid of the bodies.
Were in love. They were in love.
Norton was in love with
Jackie Gleason's wife.
Oh, even better. I was thinking maybe he was in love with Ralph, with Jackie Gleason.
And that's why he wanted to beat his wife so bad, because he didn't love her. He loved his buddy.
Yeah. And and that's how he's able to get Norton to get rid of the bodies. You work in the sewer, get rid of Alice for me, that type of stuff.
You know what to do with her, and then we can be together.
Yeah, you could put her right next to your wife. I know she's been down there for months.
This makes sense. That's why he's so angry.
Yep. He's got all that sexual frustration built up.
Oh, boy. Yep, this is dark stuff. We're uncovering. I don't know if I want to watch TV anymore.
Well, you're definitely going to look at it a lot differently.
Every time we watch something, we're going to say, well, what are they really trying to tell us here?
Well, another thing we said, what was it? The fuck is her name? The oldest lady on Golden Girls. She was a hitman back in Sicily in 1915. Yes. Picture it, Sicily, 1915. I killed the first hobo.
She didn't even look like what she looked like on the show.
Nope. She had red hair. She was only maybe in real life a handful of years older than B. Arthur.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Rue McClanahan, her character was just the hooker that brought in the victims.
Yep. She was the scout. She was a scout like Kimberly. Yep.
And then St. Olaf, that's what they called where they hide the bodies, you know what I mean?
and then there's that underlying storyline of B. Arthur.
Well, she's killed people, a man or two.
Oh, yeah.
She's got that 1,000-yard stare, you know what I mean, that the boys in Vietnam had, so that's easy.
As Jeffrey Ross once said, B. Arthur has a dick. And so that's really...
And she's not afraid to use it.
She's not afraid to use that dick.
What's really in that cheesecake that they're always wanting to eat?
Cocaine.
Exactly.
I mean, they are in Miami, aren't they?
Yeah, it's Florida. So way before the bath salts hit everything.
Or maybe they were the true... Wait. Can we connect that show with Breaking Bad somehow? And they were the original creators of meth, because meth? people say that cheesecake is like crack, or is that cheesecake like meth?
Let's see here. I want to think. Well, they did.
Richard Mulligan, was he ever on Breaking Bad?
No, I think he passed way before that.
Okay. Rest in peace.
But eventually, once Dorothy left, the other three, they moved into the Golden Palace, which was a spin-off show. Their cook was Cheech Marin. Cheech Marin was the padre to Machete. Machete is Danny Trejo, who was killed because remember his head was on the turtle in Breaking Bad.
All right. Well, there you go. Somehow
in Florida, before he became a priest, Cheech Marin was a cook in this old folks hotel, and he knew his calling. He's like, I'm not going to make any money with these bitches. I'm going to go, and that's why he found the Lord, because some of the stuff, he was cooking in the Golden Palace.
Is there any way to connect Cheech Marin with Michael Landon? Because they're experiencing the same kind of ghosts and demons because of the things that they've done in the past.
Oh, easy. That's easy. Cheech eventually in the Machete movies, he was a priest. Michael Landon was an angel in Highway to Heaven.
Oh.
Maybe Cheech is the one that says, he is who he's praying to, and he thinks maybe behind the scenes, if I can help Michael Landon get back into heaven, my soul could be cleansed of the stuff I did in the Golden Palace. I'm just pulling this out of my ass, man.
No, I mean it all makes sense. It's every TV show that we've ever watched is connected in some way, and it all goes back to drugs and slavery.
It's that what really happened in that little house on the prairie. You know what I mean?
What? I mean, really? Because they lived on this big ass farm.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, how often did you see Papa Ingalls tending to his fields?
Exactly. What was he really hunting for food?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all sketch. And then you have Victor French, who followed Michael Landon through every show, every job.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't read. Talked to dead people.
Yep. The perfect cover. You got to. He doesn't know how to read, so you got to keep him dumb, so he can't figure anything out. Yeah. Oh man.
And then so we move on to Silver Spoons. We have to connect this somehow.
Huh. Well, let's see here. I don't remember a lot about Silver Spoons. I just remember Ricky Schroeder was a rich kid.
Mm-hmm.
And his best friend was Alfonso Ribeiro from The Fresh Prince.
Yes, who went on to play in The Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
About a TV show about a very prominent, rich black family. So this is where the Drummond storyline forks off, and somehow these guys got away from these slave drivers. The Drummond slave drivers somehow became very prominent in the law.
I'm trying to think because it's definitely because Uncle Phil, oh shit. If you remember, when Grandma came to visit, you found out Uncle Phil wasn't Uncle Phil. He was little Zeke who used to work the farm.
Oh God, no.
He is a part of
the Drummond farm, you mean?
he's on the Drummond. Yeah, he was Zeke. They used to talk about how, he used to play with the goats and this and that. And Uncle Phil is embarrassed about his past. That's why he changed his name to Philip Drummond, Philip Banks.
Oh my God, he became his enemy.
Exactly. And that's, what is it? Some people die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. He wants nothing to do with his past. He doesn't want anyone to remember.
He wants his son to be. Because his son has shed any kind of heritage that he should have grown up in.
But because if you remember, Will, at least especially in the first season, Will would always mess with Carlton, say he's not black, he's white.
Right.
So Uncle Phil is now basically this rich white man, Philip Drummond, and you have look at you have what was her name? Was it
what is that term?
Kimberly Hillary? Hillary is basically his Kimberly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. What is that term where the white people move in and change the neighborhood? What is that term?
Is it gentrification?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's reverse gentrification.
Because it's Bel Air.
Yes, in Philip Drummond. Black Philip Drummond.
Oh shit. I just remembered. Final season. The Banks family, they sell the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was an episode where they're bringing in different people from different sitcoms to look to buy the house.
Don't tell me Philip
Mr. Drummond and Arnold.
God damn it.
I swear to fucking God they did. And Arnold even did what you talking about, Mr. Banks.
No.
Swear to God, I will send you the clip. You can look on it. It's definitely on YouTube. But yeah, it was Gary Coleman and Conrad Baines showed up, and they looked around the house and they considered buying it, but then I think they decided not to. Maybe because
they weren't there to really buy it anyways.
I don't want to buy this house.
The real Philip Drummond had heard. Oh my God, no. Philip Banks / Drummond had stolen Philip Drummond's identity.
Oh shit. If you think about it, Bel Air, where was Different Strokes at? Was that New York?
It seems like it was New York, but I don't know if they ever actually said. Oh no, wait, they lived in Harlem. The kids lived in Harlem.
So New York, Banks traveled all the way across the fucking country to get away from the Drummond family to start a new life.
In the last episode, Philip Drummond found him.
He found him.
And it ends. We don't know what happens after that, but I think we know what happens after that.
Oh my God, this all fucking works in some fucked up way.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the two people who are listening, I want to assure you, none of this is planned.
No.
This is literally coming to us as it happened.
We came up with the premise, not fleshed out, not even really. We didn't even talk about it much after that original conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just that we were going to talk about it on this podcast. And now, 48 minutes into this conversation, we have exposed a dirty secret that may get us killed.
We've done our own true Hollywood story of the Drummonds and the Ingalls.
The Drummonds and the Ingalls are part of this, of what basically the landscape of the United States of America.
Holy shit.
We haven't even touched upon the Waltons, Dallas. There's so much that we probably could connect.
Oh, yeah, easily. Those were slave owners in Dallas. They were definitely slave owners, as well as having the oil and stuff like that.
Well, for sure, yeah. Where oil is, that's where that. Yeah, that's that.
That one's pretty easy. But wow, that I totally forgot that Mr. Drummond and Arnold showed up in that final episode. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Makes you think. It makes you fucking think.
Yeah. Philip.
See?
Two boys. Mm-hmm. One girl.
Well, there was two girls.
Oh, yeah.
But there's Hillary and Ashley.
One doesn't count because she was hardly ever on.
Well, the thing is, though, eventually, Ashley, they got that little redheaded.
Ashley was Dudley.
He was Dudley. She was Dudley. Or remember that little redheaded kid Sam showed up eventually at the very final season of Different Strokes. Drummond got married. They brought in Danny Cooksey from Terminator 2 and Salute Your Shorts.
Where did
he was
that
the stepson?
Oh, Dixie Carter. She was on the show. I mean, she's from the South.
See. all works.
It all.
There was an episode where they went to like I don't know if it's like Universal Studios, but like the place where like they made all the TV shows. They met David Hasselhoff and Kit, and I think there was a bomb put in the Kit car, and and Arnold and Dudley got in the car. How is David Hasselhoff put in this? Maybe David Hasselhoff has exposed everything. He recognizes.
He was the investigator, the investigative guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we also mentioned that Kit could possibly be in storyline related to Christine.
The same type of model. That's true.
So, I mean, that could be a different. I mean, obviously, what we've uncovered today is that everything is connected in some way.
Holy Christ! Kit was voiced by Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World.
Oh no! Not Feeney.
Yeah.
Please, not Feeney.
Yeah, and Mr. Feeney's definitely seen some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on St. Elsewhere, which was basically, oh my god.
This all takes place in the mind of an autistic boy.
Person. Yep. Slavery is not real.
Yeah, it's not real. Holy shit. Which starred Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel ended up making a cartoon show called Bobby's World. Bobby is the autistic boy with the snow globe at the end of St. Elsewhere.
This is fucking insane.
Holy shit.
Cartoons are evil.
Oh, well, I told you. I also threw in Muppet Babies, and you said, a horror movie with animal would be terrifying. I was like, no, you don't want to mess with, Bunsen Honeydew, because he works with fucking chemicals, and Beaker is literally his lab rat.
I kind of like the idea that every movie and every TV show, it comes from Bobby's World. Bobby created Philip Drummond, the prototype racist Nazi.
I can't. Oh shit. Oh my god. And Bobby had that Uncle Ted who was always influencing his impulses. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But is it possible somehow
here we go
that Bobby is just the creation of Beavis and Butthead's antics? Or no, I think Beavis and Butthead are just, they're like, how like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Giles is the Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Beavis and Butthead are somehow the Watchers of the universe. They're the eyes of the universe, like in Marvel.
Yeah.
But and that's what they're doing when they're watching TV. They're watching the universe unfold through music videos, through TV shows, now through YouTube and TikTok, and they're the key to existence.
Oh my god, this all works. Holy shit! I'm still kind of flabbergasted about Bobby is a little autistic boy.
This is possibly the most offensive podcast of all time.
Hey, I do what I can, Dennis.
This is the second episode of the season and the last again.
It's like an ongoing thing whenever you have me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do number 3 podcast next year around this time.
We'll get canceled on the debut.
No, this is amazing shit, though. I mean, honestly, we could go on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really crazy how it all kind of somehow fits.
Well, like I said, it all fits, and it all goes back to the Ingalls. Because, like I said, if you think about it, the Brady Bunch, like I said, Mr. Brady, he was Kunta Kinte's slave owner. And at that time, him and Ingalls probably had some business going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We need to dive. So we'll need to dive into some research
Mm-hmm.
on the story of Laura Ingalls Wilder a little bit more and see exactly what the origin story is for that family. Because really all I know is basically from the start of the series. I know there's a series of books, and maybe we have a spin-off podcast, a book series where we just read.
I just thought about it. What about Peter Pan is a perfect horror story too. If you think about it, Tinkerbell is being sent on a mission to kidnap all these orphan children and bring them to Neverland so Peter can help kill pirates. What if this whole time Captain Hook knows what's going on and he's really the hero? We are only learning the story through Peter's narrative. Because if you think about it, Tinkerbell's bloodthirsty. She wanted to kill Wendy.
That makes sense. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that hasn't been turned into some type of... That's probably the next one. Find out when that one falls into public domain. We'll start on it right now.
Jesus.
We're going to get a jump on it, and we're going to make a movie. But what if that's what Eastman College is? What if that's all... those aren't students. They were stolen
orphans?
And this time they stole Tootie. And Tootie was like, no, motherfucker. I'm not an orphan.
Here's my happy thoughts. Stab. And that's definitely, and it's definitely, they're all hopped up on drugs because, pixie dust is basically the cocaine.
You mean meth from...
yeah, that's, there you go. Wow.
Everything that we've brought up has connected in some way.
And it's very plausible if you really think about it. Very plausible.
I've tried to find weaknesses in any of these storylines.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. It's concrete.
This is like our own MCU right here. You know what I mean?
The Eric and Dennis universe.
That's right.
It should not exist.
It's all in the mind of our little autistic boy with the snow globe. It's all in Bobby's mind.
Phase 1 is fucked up. Phase 1 of the Eric and Dennis universe is fucked.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
Trying to think of anything else that connects.
I am too. Trying to think, what else did I watch growing up?
I'm trying to find a way to connect Webster. Webster needs to be brought in.
Well, that's basically the same thing. He was like a little orphan boy, adopted by another rich white family, wasn't he? So
I think his dad died. Dad died. But Alex Karros, the main character, played football with him, and he was married to a woman who was always depressed, right?
She was the housekeeper of the Drummonds because she was always depressed because she knew what was going on.
And she couldn't save him.
And she was also depressed because she couldn't tell Arnold and Willis about the illegitimate half-brother, Webster, that she sired with this football player.
Or she tried to kidnap Willis. She tried to abduct them because she wanted to save them. Plus, she was dead inside and she couldn't have kids. And so she tried to abduct them. Philip Drummond caught her, expelled her from Drummond land. She went crazy, and the only way that her husband, could get her to stop with her manic craziness is to steal a little black boy that looked like Arnold.
Arnold Jackson. And he was one of the few orphans that Tinkerbell was not able to kidnap yet.
He escaped Tinkerbell.
He did not. Yeah, he did. He obviously wasn't.
He was so small. He hid in some blades of grass.
Or he was just so depressed because of being an orphan, he didn't think the happy thoughts when she put the cocaine on him.
And she was like, "Fuck this guy. He's bringing everyone down." She didn't want the orphan.
Holy shit.
And one day, Alex Karros is walking through the woods,
Mm-hmm.
You know, why
just,
through the woods? I don't know, but he finds little Webster under a mushroom.
Oh my God.
Because
why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Holy shit. Oh, God.
Wait, what if Webster was actually just an Ewok that they shaved?
I think we've become the little autistic boy right now. Oh, shit.
Next time you watch Star Wars and you see an Ewok, you're going to be like, those are all just little Emmanuel Lewis's walking around.
Well, I have seen him dance before, like on the Surreal Life.
I love that kid.
He was. I never really got into Webster. I know my parents really liked watching it, but I think it's just because it's just another sassy black kid show in the 80s.
Sure.
But wow, a shaved Ewok. Holy shit.
Now I will interject here for anybody that's listening. This is all comedy.
Yes. Please.
I'm not saying anything. You know, shaving an Ewok. I'm not implying anything. I'm not implying anything. So just laugh. It's funny. Just think about it. If you shaved an Ewok and it looked like Emmanuel Lewis, or insert some other kid and it's him. Like I only picked Emmanuel Lewis because he was popular in the 80s, and that's where we're at right now. I wasn't making any political statements. I wasn't making any social judgments. I'm just saying it'd be funny if you shaved an Ewok and it looked like Emmanuel Lewis.
Well, if you remember Return of the Jedi, look really hard at that little baby Ewok when C-3PO is telling his story. If you don't think that looks like it could look like Emmanuel Lewis,
I'm gonna look and I'm gonna research it, and it's Emmanuel Lewis was Ewok. I guarantee it.
I'm sending it to your Twitter DMs right now. That picture of the baby Ewok.
Okay.
You look at that, you know that's Emmanuel Lewis under there. He was scared of the story that C-3PO was telling about the dark side coming in. So he left the village and he was hiding under the mushroom.
He fucking shaved himself.
Yeah, these motherfuckers aren't gonna find me. I'm not gonna get killed in the war.
Fuck that shit.
And he's the last survivor. And then after the war, the Ewoks moved on. They forgot about little Emmanuel because they didn't recognize him because he's hairless.
He passes.
And then that's how he's found under the mushroom.
Later, in an episode that didn't air on ABC because it was deemed too...
That's how they made those TV movies like The Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor.
Oh, boy. This is ridiculous.
You're just now saying that, over an hour into the fucking episode?
A once promising podcast career has come tumbling down, all because I uttered the words. They shaved an Ewok, and it was Emmanuel Lewis.
Well, there's your title for the episode.
Oh, it is fucking. That's for sure the title. Eric and Dennis's Universe, Phase 1. Emmanuel Lewis is a shaved Ewok.
It works too. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I think on that note we will end this because one, we're at an hour, and that's typically where people stop listening. Mm-hmm. Typically they stop listening 5 minutes in, but I think we have the makings of what could be a very entertaining series of podcasts.
I'm all for it,
and I don't want to shoot the wad completely in the first episode.
Right.
So we want to keep this to about an hour, and I think there was some laughs. There was some shock, a lot of shock.
Yep.
Possibly the story of the century. We've basically we found something in TV cinema that I don't think any of us knew going in was.
We didn't want to know.
I don't want to know. I will never listen to this episode.
I will re-listen to it, and I'm going to take notes.
Your buddy may cancel your podcast after listening to this, and I apologize for that. All your podcast appearances might dry up with all your other podcasting buddies, and for that I apologize as well. I think what we need to do is find out who the other Ewoks were.
Was he the only shaved Ewoks? Because I guarantee you,
no,
there's definitely
that little redheaded bastard on Different Strokes. He was an Ewok.
That's
the only explanation.
His fur was growing back in. It just started with the head, and if you think about it, he had that mushroom bowl cut, so
he didn't want to be shaved, and he fought it.
Exactly. Emmanuel Lewis tackled him, shaved him first, so he knew.
We want to know what he looked like, and then he got shaved. He was like, "What the fuck?"
It's like that episode, like that scene in Earth Girls Are Easy when Julie Brown shaves Damon Wayans, and she says, "Oh my God, you're like totally black." You can't tell until you're. Oh God, it's just getting worse and worse.
So my theory is then every child actor that was added on to a TV show towards the end of a TV show's run was an Ewok. An Endor. They found an Ewok that they shaved.
Oh shit! And maybe, you never know. Maybe they got it from the Ingalls farm, because maybe he
that's what he was raising. He was raising Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh my God! They got rabies one time. Ewok rabies.
Yep. Don't let those guys bite you.
How did Cujo get rabies? Ewok.
It wasn't
because it was a shaved Ewok, and it went up to the kid thinking it was gonna get petted, and he fucking got bit.
Oh my God! Maybe the little boy in the car, trapped in the car, was a shaved Ewok, and Cujo's previous owner had a shaved Ewok, and he
forgot it was an Ewok at one point.
Oh my God! Yeah, we can't delve into like I said, we can't delve into like Stephen King territory yet, because then we'll be here like all fucking night.
I think honestly we're gonna have one episode that it's just we're uncovering who was an Ewok and who wasn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Chewbacca was just a sick. Chewbacca was just a sick Ewok that had some disease.
Gigantism.
Gigantism. Like Andre the Giant.
Yep.
He was an Ewok.
Dr. Ruth was a really, really horny Ewok, and she wasn't getting any action on Endor.
My God,
so she shaved herself and became a sex therapist to try to get laid.
Mary Lou Retton, Olympic star.
Ooh.
Ewok.
She learned all of her tricks from the battle on Endor. That's why she was able to win the gold.
Muggsy Bogues, Ewok.
You know that little guy on Fantasy Island was a shaved Ewok.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, he's the godfather of the Ewoks. He's the original Ewok. Yoda. Yoda can't be an Ewok. That would be
Yoda's not an Ewok.
We can't double dip into the Star Wars like that.
Right. But yeah, you definitely know Tattoo from Fantasy Island. He was an Ewok.
For sure.
And he's like the alpha, the omega, or however, alpha or the omega, the original Patient Zero.
Yeah,
Ewok.
He's the original. He's the father of all the Ewoks.
He fathered every
Ewok.
He was created in Bunsen Honeydew's lab.
Oh God!
When Bunsen found Beaker, he tossed Tattoo he dumped Tattoo on the island, and he didn't think he was going to be found, and that's when Ricardo Montalban
thought it was a mistake. He thought it was a mistake, and he just disposed of it.
Exactly. He didn't realize that Tattoo just stopped growing. He thought he was a failed experiment, and dumped him on the island, and that's where Ricardo
Montalban. He goes, Ewok.
Oh my God.
I wonder if there's been so much talk about Ewoks on a podcast that's not really about Star Wars.
Well, the last time I was on, we had Hell's Bells trending on Twitter. We're definitely going to have shaved Ewok.
Oh, God. Yeah, this has been this has been something else. I knew the concept was good when we talked about it, and I've been sitting here stewing about it for a couple days, but I really didn't see us ending with it being about an autistic boy who decided that Ewoks looked like Emmanuel Lewis when shaved.
And you know it's a podcast when I do the old man laugh. Jesus.
All right, well, thanks for coming on to Dennis versus the World, and
pleasure was all mine, dude.
It's gonna probably be Dennis versus the World when they hear this.
Well, thank God that all the celebrities that we have made fun of or taken shots
Don't say thank God they're dead. Don't say they're dead.
I was gonna say either they're broke and they can't sue us or they're dead. So,
is Emmanuel Lewis still alive?
To my knowledge, yeah, he's back on Endor.
He's gonna sue us.
Yeah, he'll be the one celebrity that listens to the podcast.
Yes, I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna say, "Is this true?" Did we uncover something? Did you get an uncredited part?
If only Todd Bridges hadn't already blocked me on Twitter, I could tag him too.
I can tag him. My account's new.
So it begins.
So it begins to Hey, you got a nice little retweet from St. Clair today.
I did.
That was nice.
We're trying. I got something possibly cooking because she's got a podcast as well. We might do something mutual with each other, podcast wise.
better run that by your wife first.
Well, that's why I specified podcast wise.
Good. That's awesome. I hope that works out for you.
Yep.
Maybe don't tell her to listen to this episode. I don't.
Oh, she knows exactly what I get into when I'm online. She does the whole. She just rolls her eyes. That's my autistic husband. He's playing with a snow globe.
You're the autistic person.
That's right. Oh, that's Bobby again.
Bobby, God damn it, Bobby. But yeah, this has been. I think this is probably the greatest podcast that's ever happened. Honestly.
Oh man.
It's going to be dividing. I understand that, but all good things are dividing.
Yep.
There'll be the camp that
Are you pro or anti-shaved Ewok?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think they did it for survival, so I'm pro.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But
or what if Emmanuel was never shaved? What if he's like one of those hairless cats? He was born that way, and he was shunned by the Ewoks.
Oh, poor Webster. Now I feel really bad about it, and that's why he didn't get the pixie dust. They're like, "You're free, dude."
Tinkerbell was searching for Ewoks, and she saw this little hairless one. She's like,
"Have you seen any Ewoks? I am an Ewok. You're a liar. You're a liar. Leave this land.
We don't even want you in Neverland. The place with pirates and mermaids and all."
And then he's underneath the mushroom, playing the blues.
Born with no hair.
I'm an Ewok. Why can't they see it?
Not even fairy dust will work on me. Oh, Christ.
All right. Well, that's been episode. Well, this is actually episode 3. Shayna's episode is episode 2. This is episode 3. Join us for episode 4, where I send out a public apology to everybody.
Oh, shit. It's been a blast, dude.
Yes, it has.